ZZ109FM, hottest radio station on the planet. It's your boy Loratti. What's up? It's a beautiful summer. I want to first say I appreciate you all for your support. Without you, I would not be doing this music. Podcasts, bringing my city's underground hip hop to life. And appreciate you for your support. All right, we got an amazing show today. Part 2 of our summer show. We had good news on the first show, but this show is about the bad news that is constantly going on around us. In the studio to help me out today is Miss Elsie Jenkins. Miss Jenkins, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing good, feeling alive and well on the planet. It's a blessing to be here. Lord have mercy.
Also in the studio to help us out is 10th grade education Bob. Bob, you get your report card yet? We shouldn't talk about that right now. Let's keep going on with the daily news and events.
I think he's deflecting. That's what I think he's doing.
I think you need to mind your own business and deflect some of them beady bobs off your neck, you old hag. Let's be nice, Bob. ZZ109FM morning show. We're here to get everybody through the morning, afternoon, evening. Depends on what you're doing. But if you're out there hustling and trying to make a better way for yourself, we're here to get you through your day. Also in the studio to help us out is Reverend No Show. Reverend No Show, how you doing?
Loratti, I'm feeling good, blessed to be here. Glad I've got my education. I'm not sure what Bob is trying to do.
Well, Reverend, I'm not going to say nothing negative to you because you're a Reverend. So I'll leave it at that. All right, let's go. We've got an amazing show here. We've covered some things like we normally do, like drownings, and of course this year there's been drownings. 2 twins in Florida while I was down there, 5 or 6 years old. But to lose, family members like that on vacation is devastating. Done shows about a lot of different things, but this is an interesting show because we've got a variety of things here that pertain to everybody, covers everyone. Let's get right to it. Grandma, what are we talking about first?
Well, we're gonna look at the world in regards to this violence on the planet. Lord have mercy. Why are we waking up in the morning and loading a gun and going outside with the gun? That's the first question. Why are we riding in the car with the guns in the car then? If you don't load them up every day and break them out. If you're going to protect yourself, that's one thing. We have an amendment that allows us to bear arms to protect ourselves, but it doesn't say anything about going out and taking the lives of others. That's not part of the amendment. So we look at this beautiful young lady right here, and you know what? Everyone is beautiful. Everyone's life has some kind of meaning and matter on this planet. And to say that, at any given time, someone else can decide that it's time for us to go. We have to find a way to fix and neutralize this problem. Breonna Johnson, known as Dream Doll Bree, was shot while leaving a party in Florida. Her fluorescent green Lamborghini SUV crashed after being hit by gunfire as she later died from her injuries. We're at that point where you hear this all the time. This is not new to our ears. We hear about people losing their lives every day in the city. No matter which city you're in, we hear this all the time. It's too normal. And for those that get up in the morning with the mindset that I'm going to go out and defend my personal honor if I get disrespected, you are the problem. You carry the gun around because you can't fight for yourself. You can't knuckle up like we used to say back in the day. You want to go to this fast extreme and get it over with. And that's exactly what's happening to these young entrepreneurs. She was a young entrepreneur doing some pretty good things. Uh, Police are investigating whether the SUV was targeted and currently have limited information about the shooter's identity. The shooter knows who they are, and people around the shooter knows who they are. The bottom line is, if you're this kind of a person, you should be ashamed of yourself because you can't find a better way to make a point. This young lady was popular influencer with over 37,000 TikTok followers, 85,000 Instagram followers, and known for her viral track, Bend Over. These people are artists. One of my favorite artists was Tupac. We appreciate these artists while they're on the planet. And if it hurt me when Tupac was taken away unexpectedly, I'm pretty sure it hurts you when someone you look up to is taken away unexpectedly. It's not fair.
Oh yeah, I gotta agree with you. It's heartbreaking. The summer is not supposed to be about having funerals for people you care for because they get shot up or something out of their control. It's a whole different summer once that happens. It might change your summers forever depending on how close you are to the person that's no longer here. Reverend Nosha, what do you think about these situations?
Loratti, these situations are unfortunate, and we've got to think and hold ourselves accountable. Hold ourselves accountable. We have to be the first line of defense for these problems. Personal choices to not go out and cause these kind of situations. That's the easiest way I can think of changing our situations. Personal accountability. If you're not going to be accountable for what you do, then these kind of situations will continue to happen.
ZZ109FM, hottest radio station on the planet. There's a lot of bad things going on the planet. And it's not just held to, shootings. We've got natural disasters going on. Amazing disasters, nonetheless. Like the earthquakes in Venezuela. I'm going to tell you right now, the devastation, the images that we're seeing, that 7+ earthquake leveled buildings full of people. And the kind of equipment you need to get these people out of these situations doesn't exist. We don't have the equipment that can be dropped from the sky right away to help these people that need help within 24 hours. These images are powerful images to let you know how quickly things could change overnight. The night before this earthquake, everyone was celebrating life. The day after this earthquake is just the opposite.
When I look at these images here, it just lets me know that I am blessed to be alive on this planet. There's so many ways that we can be taken off of this planet. Gunfire, murder, natural causes, earthquakes, floods, lightning, storms. Great storms can come through, hurricanes. So many ways to leave this planet, so why not appreciate the moment we're here now and say to ourselves, you know what, I'm not going to go out here and take another person's life, because there's so many other ways you can be taken out on this planet. So many other ways. Um, Taking a look at situations on this planet, and there's so many situations. A bullet doesn't really have knowledge. It's the result of another human being pulling the trigger. Can't blame a bullet for what happens when a bullet leaves a gun. It's the person that is choosing to take this gun out and pull the trigger. That's the person we want to blame. In this case, the bullet hits an 11-year-old girl in the head, and this bullet can't be taken out of her head right now because of where it is. You used to be able to sit in a McDonald's parking lot and feel that you was in the safest place in the world. But this young lady got shot in a McDonald's parking lot, minding her own business, waiting for food. No one goes to McDonald's to have to rush to the hospital because your child in the car has a bullet in their head. Dora Beline Rivera was shot in the head while sitting in a car with her family and siblings. Doctors cannot remove the bullet yet. Her father, Oscar, was shot in the hip but has been released from the hospital. June 27th is when this happened. Pretty much the summer. At the Hallandale Beach parking lot. Innocent bystanders always are innocent bystanders. And luckily, the other kids in the car weren't hurt. Now this person, Ralph Cossey Blue III, a McDonald's employee, arrested and charged with aggravated battery and assault with a deadly weapon, being held in jail without bond, and it's appropriate. But you're at work. Why do you have a gun at work in McDonald's? A lot of times you don't have to check your employees when they come in there to work, especially if you're in a fast food restaurant. The only thing we have here is food and money, but it's not the kind of money that's worth robbing over. Nonetheless, this employee is no longer working there and responsible for whatever reason in pulling this trigger, causing this young lady to no longer be here. Grandma, this summer is just, an interesting summer. I mean, every summer has its problems, as we have kind of recorded in the past. But this summer is just, a special summer. We've got U.S. still going at it with Iran, new attacks, earthquakes all over the planet, not just Venezuela, but all over the planet. And people have short fuses. I noticed that here in America. You have to be careful. Be courteous and, try not to push people's buttons. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're pushing the buttons of someone, they're going to react. They don't care who you are in the process. So you got to be careful. You have to be careful. ZZ109FM, hottest radio station on the planet. Let's keep it going. What you got, Grandma? A Missouri mother of 5 was shot fatally while buying slushies with 2 of her young children. After gunfire erupted outside a gas station, leaving the investigators searching for the shooter. This is a situation you just kind of brought forth. You know, if you go in the grocery store, gas station, wherever you're going, you can't get in a confrontation with somebody, especially if you're with your kids. Something goes down in there verbally, you've got to just be courteous. It is what it is. Because you don't know who you're dealing with. Shaquilla Martin, 35 years is all she got on this planet, was killed just before midnight outside a BP gas station in South Florissant in Ferguson. After an altercation that became inside the convenience store that spilled out in the parking lot. And whoever this was that was shooting her didn't care if she had kids or not. They had to finalize their situation right then and there in front of her children. Martin had stopped at a gas station with two of her children, ages 9 and 6, to buy frozen drinks on a hot summer night when multiple rounds of gunfire broke out. Investigators believe Martin was an innocent bystander who was struck by gunfire as she walked to her vehicle with the children. She was here to purchase some soft drinks for her young kids. They're physically unhurt, but obviously hurt emotionally. You can only imagine what a child goes through when they watch their mom being murdered in front of them. You know, I got rules that I follow in life. And after certain times of the evening, there's no need to go back out and get anything. If you don't have it, you're not going to have it till the morning time. Because it's too dangerous to be out at night, period. It's too dangerous. And if you're in a city that's kind of that kind of city where you have to be careful in the daytime, why would you be out in the nighttime going out to get something as simple as frozen drinks? You have to choose your battles when it comes to what you're doing on this planet. And if frozen drinks was something that everybody needed, they weren't going to get it till the next day, till the sun came up. It's sad, but that's how we have to roll on this planet. Make better damn decisions. Everyone has a right to go and get slushes. But see, there's certain people out here that have taken that right away from us. And it's best just to stay in the house until these people go in during the daytime to get their rest to come out at night to act a damn fool. But she's gone. And these kids don't have a mother for the rest of the summer. These people are walking out of their homes with their guns, their weapons. Some are just waiting for something to happen. Some are reacting to what they think is self-defense. And some are out just looking for people in particular. But when they find what they find, they don't care who's around. They're going to take care of their business. There are no rules to these violent games that these people are playing. ZZ109FM, hottest radio station on the planet. So much bad news that we couldn't have it in one show with the good news. We had to have a separate show, and that's sad. 2026. It's absolutely sad. Grandma, what else we got going on the planet? What else do we got? Well, let's take a look at this situation. Orlando asked Yuri why she didn't want to see him in person, which sparked an argument. And this was between a husband and a wife going through a separation. Now, this is a Marine. This woman is a former Marine that lost her life because two people got in an altercation that were going different directions in life. This happens too frequently when people decide they want to move on and then one of the two has different feelings about the whole situation. Now, you have things you have to split between the two of you. And sometimes you have to go and get those things. And this is what happened in this situation. Going back to the apartment to get something, they had an argument. And the man in this situation claimed that she swung a bag and hit him on the side of his head. This man also was a veteran. Now, his excuse in the situation is that, post-traumatic stress, soldier, served in events. This caused him to have a flashback. When they had an altercation before. She hit him with a replica Zelda sword, so-called sword. So this man named Yura this young lady Yura supposedly attacked him after he threw a slipper at her. And he said he locked himself in the bathroom to escape. He didn't report it, but he told police he had photos of his injuries on his phone. These two people didn't know how to play and be done with it. Sometimes when you play fight with some people, you get the best of them and they can't take it. And this is that kind of scenario. You get the best of somebody, then they want to go in and actually get serious and fight with you. So in this altercation they had when he went back to the house, his name is Orlando. He claimed to police that he took out his gun. Why did you bring the gun with you in the first place? This is what they're all doing. They've got the gun with them for a reason. He took out his gun after Yuri hit him with the switch and blind fired while shielding his face with his left arm. You're firing at her because you consider yourself defending yourself. So you're not really blind firing. You can cover your face all you want to, but once you get hit, you're just returning your style of self-defense back at them, which was using a gun versus using your lesser options. So police found the weapon next to Yuri's body. When they arrived at the scene, Orlando said he dropped it. Videos from Yuri's doorbell camera show she left her apartment right before the gunshots rang out. So, a situation where they're supposed to be separated turns tragic. Turns tragic because they can't seem to end the back and forth tit for tat. It's what started their relationship and it was what ended their relationship. These situations happen too often. People get together because of certain reasons, but you know what? These certain reasons are the same reason you're not here together today. ZZ109FM, hottest radio station on the planet. Let's keep going. Grandma, one thing I
look at is the fireworks. 4th of July fireworks are exciting. But this year has been pretty dry in the areas that I reside in. And it just didn't seem safe for local people to be popping fireworks when it's been so dry. And I believe that, if conditions are right, those fireworks you're using could set something on fire.
Well, you're absolutely right, because that's the case in some of these situations out here. In South Carolina, a family is remembering the final words of a father who was killed in a devastating fireworks accident. This is one of the many accidents that are happening across the planet when we're dealing with fire on this particular day. Alan Ray McGrew died on July after fireworks exploded while he was celebrating at a neighborhood block party in Somerville. This man, 41 years is all he got on the planet. And a lot of times these people on the planet go out and they find these firework places that give you a good deal on fireworks. Bringing these fireworks in. But the end result for many of the people that buy these fireworks is they lose their life. You shouldn't lose your life trying to celebrate on the 4th of July. Fireworks display in the street sets the side of the road on fire. It was a little fire at first. But still, with that little fire, if you happen to be celebrating, you should probably call the fire department. You're already in trouble. There's no need to hesitate. You don't have the tools to get the fire out. So call the fire department. They didn't do that. And as you watch and you watch and you watch, you see the fire gets more and more out of control. So you kind of wonder how these fires start across the country. And this is exactly how they get started. These fires get so large and so out of control that by the time the fire department gets there, they need more than just one engine. They need multiple engines to try to get this fire out. It's devastating when you look at how bad these fires can get out of control. Devastating. But if you want to see the fireworks, you go to the location that they say that they're going to have it done safely. And you avoid all of these situations we're talking about. Making the right decisions. Having your own fireworks display comes with certain consequences if things don't work out like they're supposed to. ZZ109FM, hottest radio station on the planet. Grandma, you are correct. These fireworks and people losing their lives because of the fireworks, it doesn't have to happen that way. You know, you take the time, you jump in the car, you go to the events where they are having them controlled, responsible for whatever happens, and then you go back home safely. Some of these people are not going back home safely because they chose to do their own fireworks show. So this is only a fraction of the bad news this summer. There's so much more to talk about, but who wants to keep hearing bad news when you're supposed to be having a good time, enjoying yourself, family, friends, going different places on the planet, vacation, sit back and have a cold drink and let somebody else be responsible for the work for a change. Pay attention to your family when you're out there. You know, yeah, you're at the
pool, but there's no lifeguards in some of these places, especially the vacation homes. You're the lifeguard. You got to know exactly where everyone is when it comes to that pool you have in the back of the house. That's an added responsibility. It's not an option where you can ignore it and just say, well, everyone will be okay. Someone has to watch and maintain everybody with a pool in the backyard. And then who do you allow to watch? You've got a lot of teenagers out here that could babysit. But for peace of mind for a parent, I think the parent has to take that opportunity to say, that's okay. I'm going to be the responsible party. I want to be responsible if something happens to a family member while we're down here. And take that responsibility. Don't leave it in the hands of a teenager, because if something happens, like these two 5-year-olds drowned and the teenager was supposed to be watching them, now there's a lot of questions you're going to ask yourself for the rest of your life. ZZ109FM, have a great summer. It's your boy LORATTI. Be safe out there. Take care.